It is another edition of Time About the Movies, and today we're taking a look at the three films released on July 31st, 2009. And we've got one of those sandwiches again, where you have two really good movies, and then you have a steaming pile of garbage in the middle, making one of the most essentially one of the more disgusting sandwiches you'll ever eat in your life. But before we get to the smelly, shitty middle film, let's get to the good stuff, starting off with the biggest new release of the weekend. That is Adam Sandler, Seth Rogen, and Leslie Mann in Judd Apatow's Funny People.
Ira, look how cute these girls are.
Yeah, they look the same from back here.
Just keep writing your little jokes. You'll break through.
Shouldn't have lost all that weight. No one wants to watch Lance Armstrong do comedy.
He's a nervous wreck. He's got to go on.
Are you going to go up?
Unfortunately, yes.
I have a hairy back. Looks like I'm wearing a parachute.
Is your act just designed to make sure no girl will ever sleep with you?
Hey, want to see you all the breath along us?
I know you think you're going to be happier when you get all your dreams, but I'm telling you, you look back at this and go, wow, I wish I was there again.
Laughter is such wonderful medicine.
You have a very scary accent.
If you have no other questions, I do have other patients.
I've been trying to build this cabinet I bought from you guys for like 6 months.
IKEA, that's very funny.
Rated R. Starts July 31st.
The movie where Adam Sandler basically told everybody, hey, I can act. I don't need to keep doing these terrible movies that I've been known to be starring in for most of my career. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and make fun of them so that I never have to do them again. And then the movie bombed. And then he would spend the next 10 years pretty much basically destroying all of his goodwill he had going from that point on, until he would eventually try again with another dramatic role in Uncut Gems, which did not get him an Academy Award nomination, which was a sin, because that movie definitely deserves one. And this one definitely deserves a lot more credibility, too, because it's a lot better than its reputation is actually set to be. This is back when Judd Apatow was making a lot of good movies as a director, and this was his third film as a director, and he knocked it out of the park with this one. Adam Sandler plays a famous comedian who is diagnosed with leukemia, and he tries to fix a relationship in his life with his ex-fiancée, played by Leslie Mann, while also befriending an aspiring comedian played by Seth Rogen. You also have characters played by Eric Bana, Jonah Hill, and Jason Schwartzman among the cast in here as well. And basically it's a modern equivalent to something like Punchline, that Tom Hanks Sally Field movie that also got sadly overlooked when it came out in 1988, which is criminally underrated. Definitely seek that one out. This is a film that deserves a lot more attention than it got. I mean, it did not perform well at the box office. It was a bomb, and like I said, it was basically Adam Sandler, giving up on trying to go for a more dramatic role and sticking with comedies for the next decade, even though a lot of them were really not that good. In fact, some of them were downright terrible, and some of them ended up being the worst movies of specific years. But it doesn't matter, man, because this movie really did work and show what Adam Sandler could do in a more dramatic role. This isn't Punch Drunk Love or even Uncut Gems style levels of his performance in here, but it's him doing a performance where you feel like he's trying his best here to try to salvage his career, trying to show everybody that I can be dramatic and it could work. Just the fact that it didn't do well really bums me out, because this was a movie that really is very underrated. It's a film that is so damn good. All the performances in here are great. Seth Rogen is usually very good in a film like this. He's proven time and time again he can be good in a more, I say dramatic, but this is still a comedy too. But it's more in this vein of something like A Knocked Up or The 40-Year-Old Virgin. And Leslie Mann, she appears in her husband's movies all the time, but you forget that she can be really good in other movies too, and here she really does play it well. Here she plays it very good here. Eric Bana's also really good in the movie. Him coming off of the Hulk and all that. Him proving that, hey, he can still be a good actor too. A good cast all around here. There's really not any major complaints I have towards the movie. I just don't think people were ready for that kind of Adam Sandler anymore. They just wanted to go back to making stupid comedies again. And sure enough, the very next summer, he follows it up with Grown Ups, which ended up becoming a massive hit. And like I said, it was him just going back to that for the rest of the decade of the 2010s, which sucked because there has been some times where he's trying to branch out and just nobody's willing to give him that opportunity to do that and show what he can do. And the film literally is just him satirizing his career. But, of course, because it didn't do well, he essentially went back to making movies that were parodies of the films that were in this movie. Like, okay, we don't have the movie where he turns into a baby, but we have Jack and Jill. We have movies where he's literally going on vacation just for the tax, making movies just for the vacation. I mean, that's literally what those movies in the 2010s were basically at. Say what you will about his movies from the 2000s, but the guy was trying to make you laugh, and for the most part, he did succeed at it. There were more decent comedies in the 2000s than there was compared to the 2010s. I mean, the 2010s was bad for Sandler in terms of his movies in general. I mean, most of them were pretty bad, and we're gonna get to a lot of those in the decade to come. But bottom line here is that the movie really is good. It's a good mix of comedy and drama. The cast overall is great. People criticize the runtime for the film. It's not that long. I mean, it's a long movie, but if it's a good movie, you don't even notice it. And it is a really good movie. Yeah, it's nearly 2 hours and 30 minutes long, but at the same time, are you enjoying the movie? Because I was certainly enjoying it. I didn't even realize it was that long of a film, because the movie is moving at a smooth enough pace overall. There was a lot of good people involved in this that know how to keep you invested in the storyline here. We've seen time and time again, Judd Apatow is a really good director. Granted, his last couple movies have not been that strong, but he was on a good hot streak for much of the time before we got to COVID. I mean, that's kind of where the slide started to begin with The King of Staten Island and also the Bubble. But overall, this is still a really good movie, and one that definitely deserves a lot more attention than I think it doesn't get. I mean, it's a really good movie. It shows what Adam Sandler can do as a more dramatic actor. It shows what all these people can do in a more serious role in general. I guess that's probably the best way to say it. Not really dramatic, but more serious, and not just playing stock characters we've seen done before so many times. This is a really good movie. It's one that I really hope gets a lot more recognition in the years to come. It's Adam Sandler doing what we want to see Adam Sandler doing. We don't want to see him starring in stupid comedies, but I'm just going to tell you right now, brace yourself, because the next decade of Adam Sandler comedies is not going to be pretty at all. There's going to be a couple of movies that do work, but they are very few and far between, so buckle yourself in for that one. But in the meantime, go see Funny People. It's a really good movie. So, with that said, speaking of bad comedies, we don't even need to wait for Adam Sandler to start making some bad ones. The next one we have here is a movie that is so terrible. It is only the second time that I've ever walked out of a movie. And, I've kind of talked about this already, so we can pretty much run through this one quickly. Aliens in the Attic.
There's the pool. See ya.
The Pearsons were on the ultimate family vacation.
Well, surprise, surprise, princess. What are you doing here?
Ricky!
Hey! Whoa, what's up with the car?
Lame.
But there's one little problem. Someone else checked in first.
Oh, hello, humans.
Please tell me you see that too.
We come in pieces. We committed attack the humans!
On July 31st, it's the aliens
What the?
Where did they come from?
versus the Pearsons.
An entire fleet of those guys are about to invade.
Got it. Don't got it.
This guy doesn't fit in with the others.
Everyone, gear up.
In the main event
Cover me.
With the race?
of the summer.
Bring it, puny human.
Those things they shot at us, they're mind control plugs.
We hereby claim your planet as our own.
From 20th Century Fox and Regency Enterprises.
I got Nana's controller!
Game on.
Game over.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, was the point where I walked out of the theater. Just like how the cat got killed in the spirit in one of the stupidest ways possible, that was the moment where I said, I can't take it anymore. I gotta get the hell on out of here. Aliens in the Attic. As I said before, I kind of touched on this already, so I'll be brief on this one. It's about the Pearsons, a family whose busy lifestyles leads their dad, played by Kevin Nealon, to say that a family vacation is needed. So the dad, the younger sister Hannah, teenage son Tom, and older sister Bethany, played by Ashley Tisdale, along with her boyfriend Ricky, all go to their vacation home. But shortly after the Pearsons arrive at their sprawling summer home, however, things start to get strange as dark clouds start to swirl overhead. 4 glowing objects blast through the skies on a collision course with the Pearsons' roof, and so the alien invasion and the bullshittery begins. And what follows is an annoying-ass alien played by Josh Peck. You know, he was good in the Ice Age movies, and he was tolerable, but here... oh, he gets on your nerves so goddamn fast. And that scene that I walked out, is that made me walk out of the movie. The Mortal Kombat fight scene with a mind-controlling Ray's mom from Everybody Loves Raymond, Doris Roberts. And it's some of the worst stunt work I have ever seen in my life. This is about as bad of a movie as you can get. It made me so furious to walk out of this movie, because I could not believe that the studio thought you were that stupid to go and see this film. Like, that's how bad this movie is. It's a movie that's so terrible. It panders to kids on the worst possible levels, and it's just... it's one of the worst things ever. Like, say what you will about the Alvin and the Chipmunks movies, but those movies were at least trying to do something. At least the first couple movies were. This is just noise, annoyances, lame jokes, just comedy that just didn't work at all, and... nothing clever came out of it. Nothing smart came out of it. Nothing. It's like, this is a movie that literally is insulting the intelligence of of the audiences that they're trying to appeal to. And nobody went to go see the film, which thank God for that, because I couldn't imagine this continuing on into a series, even as a direct-to-DVD series. Can you imagine how much lazier the budget on this would have gotten if they made direct-to-DVD sequels of this? Just... yeah, not much more to say about that one. If you want to hear what I had to say about this movie in full, there's the link to the Reviewing Network that talks about the 5th worst movie of all time that I've seen, and that's Aliens in the Attic. So let's go ahead and end this on a much more positive note. Let's take a look at our last film that we have here, and that is The Collector. Yeah, sorry for the sucky-ass commercial there, but that's taken from the DVD preview for that. But this is The Collector, which, believe it or not, was actually originally supposed to be a spin-off prequel to the Saw franchise as an origin story for the character of Jigsaw. However, the producers opposed the idea, and it led to the script getting reworked into an original story. This was originally a Lionsgate release, and they passed on it. So they passed it off, and Freestyle Releasing picked it up, and... it was a smart move, because the film they actually got was a really good movie. And I would say it's better than some of the more recent Saw sequels that were coming out. But you follow a handyman, Arkin O'Brien, played by Josh Stewart, who in order to pay a debt decides to rob a house, only to find out somebody with far more sinister intentions has already broken in and rigged it with multiple traps. So it's kind of like Home Alone meets Saw and is in real life, not just like, you know, how some people saw the Home Alone traps, like literally like Saw in some ways. But no, this is literally like that, and... it's an intensely good movie. It is a film that kind of comes out of nowhere. It comes from the writers of the lesser Saw films, so you don't really expect a whole lot, but man, do they deliver here. I mean, this is a really entertaining movie. You do get attached to the characters involved in here. You do get involved with their situations. And the Collector himself is an intriguing antagonist. The guy who set these traps up here is a really intriguing, interesting person in general to keep your eye on. And it just works. It's a very good film. Excuse me. But, yeah, it's a film that, yeah, not much more to say about it, man. It's a really good movie. It's a film that, you know, Lionsgate passed on it, and it's probably one of their big mistakes of passing on it, because it eventually spawned a little bit of a franchise of their own, because the next film would come out a couple years later. Never seen it before, so I don't know if it's any good or not, but this one is really good. It's one I definitely recommend checking out. If you like the original Saw movies and the intentions of what they were trying to do with it, you're definitely going to find a lot to admire about The Collector. I think it's a very good movie, one that definitely deserves to be seen, so yeah, definitely check it out, The Collector. And so with all that said, we wrap up another edition of Time About the Movies, as we'll jump into August on the next episode with 4 movies, including G.I. Joe, The Rise of Cobra, Paramount's attempt to try to create another new franchise after Transformers came out. We have Meryl Streep and Amy Adams starring in Nora Ephron's Julia, Mila Jovovich and Steve Zahn among the cast of A Perfect Getaway, along with Timothy Olyphant, and also Michael Cera and Charlene Yee in Paper Hearts. So 4 films to take a look at next time around, and we'll take a look at all of them on the next show. So be on the lookout for that tomorrow. But until then, thank you so much for watching this. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please go ahead and hit that playlist on the next page. Check out the previous episode. And also, don't forget to hit the like button, the subscribe button, the notification button, and the bell. That's where you get updates on when new videos come out. We do post new videos here every day. So, with all that said, I'm off. I'll see you guys next time. And until then, as always, take care.